Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Crypto Takeover coming back with a Bitcoin crypto video for you today. We're going to take a look at a few articles to jump on over into the charts. Bitcoin currently seeing a little bit of a sell-off as of right now, just of how much. I think it was probably about 8 or 10%, somewhere right around there. We're going to jump over into the charts here in a second. Let's get started with a few news articles, and if that sounds interesting, go ahead and stick around and let's get started. All right, folks, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that we all can stay updated every single video that we make on this channel. Make sure you share it with your friends and family if they're interested in getting crypto too as well. So here we go. Bitwise Crypto Index Fund becomes available to U.S. investors. Bitwise Asset Management, a provider of cryptocurrency index funds to professional investors, announced Wednesday that its 10 crypto index funds are now available to the U.S. investors as a public traded cryptocurrency index fund. After the Form 211 for quotations of the fund's shares were reviewed by financial industry regulators authorities, the Bitwise 10 Crypto Index Fund was enabled to be listed in the over-the-counter markets and trades under the ticker symbol BITW, the company said in a news release. Shares of the fund will be tradable through traditional brokerage accounts, and the assets will be custodied with Coinbase custody trust companies. So 10 crypto index fund. Okay, interesting. I wonder what's all in these. Okay, the fund will track Bitwise 10 large cap crypto index, a diversified market cap weighted index of the 10 largest cryptocurrencies. As of November 30th, the fund approximately held 75% Bitcoin, 13% Ethereum, according to Hunter Horsley, co-founder and chief executive of Bitwise. This gives investor exposure to cryptocurrencies without trying to pick winners or having to consistently monitor the rapid changes in the space. Okay, so it looks like obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum are the main holdings of these index funds, right? The news came after the company failed its attempts to win approval from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission for a Bitcoin-focused exchange-traded fund. Okay, while many exchange-traded funds, ETFs of efforts have focused around Bitcoin only, Hogan said that having a crypto index fund gives investors exposure to other cryptocurrencies, with several having outperformed Bitcoin thus far this year. Unlike an ETF, the BitW's shares are exempt from registration with the SEC. Nonetheless, the launch of BitW will not stop the company from pursuing a Bitcoin ETF, Hogan told CoinDesk. Bitwise had more than $100 million in assets under management at the end of October. The company attributed the significant growth and rise to demanding with hedge funds, financial investors, and multifamily offices. Crypto is about more than Bitcoin, said Hogan. As a phenomenal an asset as Bitcoin, it is far from the best performing asset in the Bitwise 10. In fact, the sixth best performer year to date. So I do believe that Bitwise is on Coinbase, and I think it's been on there for a while, if I'm not mistaken. But this just goes to show that index funds are starting to become a thing, and that you probably will be able to invest soon enough in an ETF on the stock markets exchange too, as well, such as the Nasdaq. And so I have no doubt that that's coming pretty soon. Obviously, we're starting to see these index funds pop up here and there on different exchanges. And I believe I've seen them on other exchanges too as well. So quite interesting to see that, obviously Coinbase is providing something like that now too as well. So let's take a look at this next news article. The world's top hedge fund manager compares Bitcoin with gold. Ray Dalio at Bridgewater Associates termed Bitcoin as a good tool for portfolio diversification. American billionaire hedge fund manager and founder of Bridgewater Associates, Ray Dalio, said the Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have established themselves as alternative assets in the last decade. In a Reddit post yesterday, Dalio changed his tone on cryptocurrencies and presented a positive stance on digital assets. He compared Bitcoin with gold and said that both have similarities as a store of value. The recent comments came as a surprise after Dalio bashed Bitcoin in the last month. Their lack of adoption, high volatility, and uncertain regulatory status. The American investor added that Bitcoin looks like a good tool for portfolio diversification, as investors can add the world's leading cryptocurrency and their investment pool, along with traditional products like stocks and commodities. So I guess this is his quote here. I think that Bitcoin and some other digital currencies have over the last 10 years established themselves as interesting gold-like assets alternatives with similarities and differences than to gold and other limited supply mobile, unlike real estate storeholds of wealth. So it could serve as a diversifier to gold and other such storeholders of wealth assets. The main thing is to have some of these types of assets with limited supply that are mobile and that are storeholders of wealth, including stocks, in one portfolio, and to diversify among them. Not enough people do that. As far as Bitcoin relative to gold, I have strong preference for holding those things which central banks are going to want to hold in exchange value and when they are trying to transact, Dalio said. So obviously, now coming forward, saying that they have gold or that they have Bitcoin. Honestly, I feel like a lot of these billionaires, millionaires had already been invested in Bitcoin, probably at the $20,000 peak. That's just my stance on this. I believe that they, Peter, what is his name? Peter Schiff. I believe that he's already been invested in Bitcoin. Honestly, I just feel that although you hear a lot of people talk bad about this, they've probably been given the word that they are supposed to talk bad about Bitcoin just because there's only a limited supply. It's an asset and nothing else like it pretty much around, that basically once it's all gone, it's gone. And so I think that that's honestly the reason why they've there's been so much down talk on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies for the long haul, is because they've been slowly steady scooping it up, and then now when it's at an all-time high, you're going to hear them come out about it and talk about how they are approving of it now to obviously dump the markets once again. So and that is exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing the markets dump after all this bullish news is coming out. Hedge fund managers, billionaires are investing in it now. Billion dollar companies are investing in it now, putting in quote unquote like $400 million per week, buying Bitcoin at these prices. And so, that's a great opportunity for them to continue to dump this market if they wanted to. So we're going to take a look at the charts here in a second. Last but not least, could crypto IRAs replace traditional IRAs? More young investors are looking to diversify their retirement accounts by adding Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. There has been a rise of individual retirement accounts that are focused on cryptocurrencies, and some crypto investors believe crypto IRAs will eventually be industrial standard. What is a crypto IRA? An RIA is a tax advantage retirement investment account that operates under a specific set of rules in exchange for the tax advantages associated with the IRAs. Investors have restrictions on how much they can add to their IRA accounts and their penalties associated with an early withdrawal. So obviously, IRAs such as your 401k, you're not going to get it until a certain time, but obviously if you diversify your IRA possibly into cryptocurrency IRAs, then that's going to probably have a nice little substantial growth. You hear about athletes and generational athletes of our time as of right now, such as millennials and others, talking about they want to get paid in Bitcoin. They want their retirement funds to be in cryptocurrency. So this is obviously nothing new pretty much, but you're probably going to start to see a lot more bigger companies actually let their employees maybe have a 401k inside of crypto assets too as well. And they're going to have probably that option written out on paper somewhere or another to basically be able to invest inside of their crypto assets or put a little bit of holdings inside of crypto. I'm sure later on in the future, such as, ETFs and when the index funds are released onto the stock market exchange as well too. Okay, it says pros to a crypto IRA. The biggest potential advantage of crypto IRAs is diversification. Obviously, that's what Ray Dalio was just talking about, diversification. Love them or hate them, it's becoming clear that cryptocurrencies are unique asset class, and some have even seen Bitcoin replacing gold as a preferred hedge against inflation. In the next generation of tech-savvy investors, cryptocurrency could theoretically help protect retirement investments in the event of a major stock market collapse or other economic catastrophes. I do believe that a stock market crash is still inevitable. That's just my take on the situation. So obviously you're going to start to see a lot of these like pension funds and everything like that start to go south too as well. I think that that's probably another inevitable thing that could happen. is there could be another large stock market crash, and we could just see gold and silver and Bitcoin start to take off from there, and have our crypto assets, be the next thing, and they switch over to a new system, or somehow try to hyperinflate the stock market again too. Or what I've even been thinking about is to even allow stock market exchanges or stocks in general of different companies to be split up, kind of like a Bitcoin. What is the word I'm looking for? Not a derivative, but to be able to tokenize the stocks as well. And so if you start to see a switch over to tokenization of these stocks, I think that could be a turn of an event too as well, which would probably be a lot of uncertainty going into stock markets. But you can start to see probably the stocks start to fall off as things start to become tokenized on the stock exchange too as well. Cons of a crypto IRA. The biggest potential disadvantage of crypto IRAs is the heavy fees. A typical crypto IRA will come with a holding fee, establishment fee, and asset purchases fees, and fund transfers of minimum monthly account fee. And an additional IRA cryptocurrency purchase must be made via a designated firm that will also charge its own fees. In addition to fees, IRA accounts can only be traded during regular market hours. Since stocks and bonds only trade during regular market hours, investors aren't locked out of the market on weekends or holidays. Yet Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies trade 24 hours a day, 365 days a week. They also have a long track record of huge upswings and downswings on the weekdays and holidays. Crypto IRA holders would be helpless to buy or sell during these market hours. This is this is basically just telling you what I was going to say too as well. So you're relying on other companies to hold your crypto. Why not just go out and buy it yourself, and then hold it yourself, figure out how to store it. If you're here early in the game, you're learning about how to store your crypto and hold it for the long term too as well. So you're not going to have to rely on banks, IRAs, 401k in the future, because you're going to be able to know how to do it exactly by yourself. And another thing with that is not only, they're talking about that there's going to be account fees, there's going to be asset purchase fees, holding fees. And so, honestly, like, you wouldn't have a holding fee if you were storing it by yourself, or if you're staking it, so there's not going to be a holding fee with that. If you have a monthly account, if you have like a ledger or a ledger, Nano S or something, you can find a link in the description box below if you want to get a hardware wallet. But you're not going to be paying a monthly fee to hold your crypto either. So, obviously there's definitely perks to making sure that you know what you're doing with your crypto. And if you're here early in the game with crypto, then you're learning all this manually. That way you don't have to get other people to do it for you, right? One of the sayings that we always talk about is become your own bank. And that's just holding your money safely and knowing what you're doing with it. So you don't have to go through all these loopholes, jump through these fees and different things like that. You could just go out to the exchange and purchase it by yourself if you know what you're doing. And then you don't have to use this middleman infrastructure here. So obviously that's another thing that you can take away from crypto too as well. But you're going to start to see a lot of these big companies on here talking about let us invest for you, this and that. Once the index funds get released onto crypto or onto the NASDAQ and different things of that nature, that's also going to be another, loophole to jump through, when you could probably just go over to Coinbase and you could invest in the Bitwise index fund, on Coinbase yourself. So obviously there's, jumps, I think that they're going to probably make it a lot more loophole-y for you to jump through in the near-term future. But we're going to, see how that kind of spans out, and hopefully you can give or take what you learned from this video here. Let's go over the charts just really quick here. So we're starting to see a little bit of a sell-off for the most part, but we are on our daily, what we've been kind of keeping a close eye on is holding support at our 21 EMA here. Obviously, it looks like we're probably more than likely going to dip below this. We're going to be looking for support at about our 50 EMA or so. This is just a chart that I had drawn out for our Patreon members. And if you want to join us on Patreon, see how we're trading this market, see what altcoins we're getting into right now, and how to stake your crypto and earn some passive income, join us on Patreon. If you're interested in joining us there, link in the description box below. We use our market cipher indicator on our trading view app too as well. But it looks like our 50 EMA is sitting right at about 16,500. So if we dip below our 21 EMA here, we're going to be looking for support at our 50 EMA or so. But that's just a heads up on that. If we are to dip below that, you know, we're still seeing some more bearishness on these higher time frames here. Starting to see maybe like a little bit of a stair step pattern down on the 2-day too as well. Looking at our 10-hour, we did break below our 21 EMA, trying to find support at our 100 EMA. 100 EMA is sitting right at about 17,400. If we already did below that, we're looking for 16.5 or so to hold for support. But momentum and money flow on our mid time frames are also headed in a downward trajectory as of right now too as well. But this is what you get whenever you you know, have these FOMO articles at 20K. You know, you're going to see these retracements happen. We've been kind of expecting that, honestly. And it does look like, you know, we are getting a little bit more sell pressure as of right now. I think that Bitcoin probably has a little bit more of consolidation out to the side. We'll probably be ranging in between this 20K area and our $16,000 area or so. So I'm thinking we'll probably bounce back and forth here, just a tad bit, creating some type of channel here. And you know, then we might see something close to going into January by the end of that year, or by the end of the year. We'll probably be seeing Bitcoin decide a directional move from there. But I think that given this sell-off here, we're probably going to have quite a bit more consolidation out to the side for the end of December, and then we'll decide a clear direction from there. So let's take a look at the dominance chart here just really quick, see what's happening. Bitcoin dominance getting another little wick to the downside here too as well. So if we are to kind of zoom in here, we're looking at the 10-hour time frame. It looks like we did have a little bit of a sell-off with our dominance chart too as well. And I think the dollar index did kind of take a nice little peak here. It looks like we have a 9 on the TI sequential here on the daily time frame too as well. So we could be seeing somewhat of a reversal here in the near-term future. Let's take a look at the fiat currency. So we'll take a look at the DXY, just see what's happening here. DXY finding a little bit of a bounce, but honestly not that much. You know, and obviously once Bitcoin sells off, people are going to be going into the dollar. So it does look like people may have moved money back into the dollar. But once we start to see this continue to sell off, it'll still be quite of a nosedive, I'm sure, for the dollar index when that is to take place. So I think that's going to do it for today's video, folks. Not much on altcoins, but we could go over Ethereum just here really quick. I do believe Ethereum had a relatively big sell-off too as well. So let's take a look at ETH on the daily time frame. Still trying to find support on the 21 EMA. So we are wicking below it as of right now. Let's see where our 50 EMA is sitting at, and then we'll kind of go from there. 50 EMA sitting at about $500. And this is the same thing that we're seeing on Bitcoin too as well. If we are to dip below that 21 EMA on the daily, we're looking for support at about the 50 EMA or so. So I would leave that there, folks, and hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. Don't forget, Market Cipher still is on sale if you're interested in picking it up. Link in the description box below, so that way you can get all the same indicators that we're using on this channel too as well. And if y'all have any questions, feel free to message us on Discord. The Discord server is available to the public. Sign up for our newsletter to qualify for our $100 giveaway in one of our favorite altcoins once we hit 3,000 subs. And without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that way y'all can be updated every single video that we make. Share this video with your friends and family if they're interested in getting crypto. We also have a beginner course available if you are brand new to crypto in general too as well. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end it on here. I'll see you on the next one. CTO signing out. Peace.